Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Friends slowly joining us. So I think let's begin with our lecture. And of course, I'll share the WebEx recording later so that the rest can follow through from the early discussion of our chapter today, which is the external and internal environment. So I've shared with you the slides and to more detail in regards to what are the external and internal environment that may affect the way we run our business and how the digital era and the world of data has impacted the way entrepreneurs, business owners, and also managers run their organization. Yeah. So if you have any questions along the way, please do ask questions or post your questions in our chat box. Yeah, so I have it here for my reference. Now, let's look into some of the aspects that I'm going to share today. Yes, we are going to talk about environmental forces, and we are going to also discuss on macro environment and competitive environment. Sometimes microenvironment is called general environment. So as you know, in management, we use several different terms to define the same issue, the same concept. Yeah. So macro environment and competitive environment, or general environment and task environment. So we're going to look into that later. And I'm going to introduce to you some tools and techniques that we use to do our environmental analysis. Now, there are a lot of things that we look into in our environmental analysis. Based on management book, we have PAS, the simplest one, or pastel, the extension of PAS, or sometimes we have STEEP, or STEEP V also means the same, but the way they put it in a different way, a different form. We have ETOP. ETOP is also reflecting PAS, and so many others. And I'm going to touch on that later on during our discussion. Yeah. And there are also some aspects that I'm going to bring to you in regards to how technology advancement and the digital era has impacted the way business do their operations and how they change their business model based on the utilization of data. Yeah. And there are some organizations that manage to sail through and thrive in the world of big data, but there are also organizations that couldn't cope with the fast and swift changes in the environment, especially with the development of technology. And as we know, we discussed earlier on, every nanosecond that's new invention and new technology that is introduced in the world. Okay, so we look into how much data that we have that's very overwhelming, and how can we deal with this world of data and also data-driven organization, a culture. What is it like, and how organizations can maneuver their way through to thrive and to grow in this type of VUCA world that we are living in. So let's look into some reflection on what we have discussed earlier on. I've touched a bit on VUCA last chapter, and I think it is worth highlighting again that VUCA environment has changed the way we do things. And for those who love to take their own sweet time to manage an organization, especially if they are operating in technology industry or industry that relies heavily on technology, then that's a lot of things that need to be improved. There are also sectors or industry that that may not have that much impact directly based on the advancement of technology. But indirectly, they have to also consider how they can improve their operations or their service to make sure that they can cope with the different expectations and demands from the consumers. Take for an instance, food industry. Used to be, if you are talking about food or going to the restaurant, there's no other way. I mean, there are obviously restaurants that provide the delivery, but the conventional way of taking lunch or eating is through the let me just mute mute. Okay, so use the way we used to how do I say? I lost the words already. Okay. Previously, if you're talking about food and beverages industry, there's not much worry in regards to the advancement in technology and how they might impact the industry. But nowadays, we see that things are changing too. There are a lot of services provided by food and beverages industry to customize to the tailor to the client, the customer's need, and also to provide them with more convenience and comfort to take their food, dinner, lunch, or breakfast through delivery. And this has been affected us even more when we face the COVID-19 pandemic, where there's a restriction in mobility. We couldn't go out and get our food outside and couldn't eat out. We have to get all foods to be delivered to our home, and that changes somehow the way consumers think about convenience in getting food, and also the food and industry, the food and beverages industry should actually provide services to the customers. They have different perception, they have different expectation, they have different need. Whatever that is convenient, comfortable for the consumers, then they have the service provider have to abide to it. So there's a lot of things that has changed due to COVID-19, and we see the impact of exponential growth in the utilization of technology, right? And I'll show you in a while how technology advancement alone changed the whole landscape of policy, environment, social trend, and also legal environment. Yeah. So just by looking at technology advancement alone. Now, what we have to be aware of when we talk about dealing in this VUCA world and understanding how external forces impacted us is number one, speed, right? Consumers, our clients, our prospective, what do you call that? Clients look for speed because it is so convenient to have things to be delivered directly to you, and they want it fast and swift. Okay, so speed is of essence. Interdependence, because there's so many players now, and each and every players relies on each other to deliver services and also innovate products. So the word of the day is collaboration and increased density of interaction. So there's a lot of broad range of interconnectivity and interactions that need to take place in this kind of world that we are living, and obviously increased variety of input. And I've talked about involution last time, with the abundance of information that is presented to us through all sorts of medium, right? Social media and mass media. We have to really filter the kind of information that we need to utilize to make data-driven decision making. Okay, and the external environment that we are looking into today is related to the digital world, and I'm going to go a bit in depth into how digital world has basically impacted the way we do things, and also impacted the way businesses deliver their services or innovate their product in that manner. All right. Okay, and okay, so this is some facts and figures that I have gathered through readings. Just in case you wonder, what is big data? Why are we so worried about big data, and what kind of data? How big is big data? Just look at these figures. Data we create online in 60 seconds, which is just 1 minute. Within 1 minute, we have, or the world have created more than 500 hours of videos, 16 million kind of texts, 347 thousand 200, yeah, 347,200 tweets. And spend how much do we spend on Amazon? Okay, this is the context of Amazon. Numbers of photo being uploaded in 1 minute, yeah, in 1 minute. This is taken 2022. I bet in 2023 the data increased tremendously. Okay, and 5.9 million in Google, emails even more, yeah, and Snaps. I'm not quite sure. Snaps is not quite familiar, quite famously used in Malaysia, but obviously something to do. It's still social media, and just imagine we have not included Facebook, TikTok, Instagram yet. Imagine how much data the world create in a minute. And that's what we mean by big data, right? Now, if you are running a business, now how are you going to filter the kind of information to the kind of data to be translated into information and knowledge for us to make decision? It's kind of tough and difficult, and there are ways in which we can actually filter information, but nonetheless there are incidences when businesses make the wrong decision and it costs them billions of dollars lost in revenue. Yeah, and take for instance, I think you have read the case of Google when they want to introduce Bard AI, the generative AI, in which is comparable supposedly to ChatGPT of Microsoft. And the moment they launched the demo, it turned out to be a disaster because the information extracted from that AI was found to be totally wrong, right? False information. So just because of that one incident, Google lost about 100 billion USD of shares, okay, the next day. So that critical information is, or that is very critical for us to make sure that the utilization of analytics tool and also the information that we want to input in, the data that the decision that we make is very much what do you call that, filtered carefully so that we can avoid the risk of loss. Okay, to make it more specific, I'm not so sure whether you are aware of this data, global data generated annually. So all in, we have kilobyte. I know now we are using the terabyte, iPhone terabyte, right? So we are now talking about zettabytes. I'm not familiar much with the term of with all these terms, but I basically know the how large is terabyte, and this is beyond that, right? So the total amount of data in the world was measured at 4.4 zettabytes in 2013, but in 2023 120 zettabytes generated and expected to increase by 150% in 2025. Imagine, we will be swamped by data. Now, how can we leverage on all this data to make sure that we made the right decision? So I can testify that at least 50% of the data that we generated are dirty data. Right now, how do we filter this dirty data? And these are all part of the external forces that has major impact to the organization, right? Major impact to the way we run our business. Now, data and intelligence driven enterprises win. This is evidently, if you can read through the published article by McKinsey and Company. I love to read McKinsey and Company. If you want to know more about reports on McKinsey and Company, what they did, they are consultancy company that looks into a lot of things. They look into various aspects of management, and now the focus is on data, intelligence, data-driven organizations, and how data and creativity, data and creativity should be married together so that we can push for better innovation and also better decision making. So I'm going to touch about it later. But all in, it was mentioned that data is the new oil and intelligent information is the new currency. There's also another saying that says data is the new currency. Data analytics is the new bank. Okay, so there's a lot of analogy being used to reflect the importance of data in the digital world that we are living now, and how these external factors has impacted businesses and the way they do things. Okay, now what's the revenue forecast worldwide when it comes to big data market size? You won't believe it. The increase is exponential. If you look at 2011, it is only 7.6 billion, but expected to reach up to 103 billion 2027. So that's the amount of revenue people are making just by trading data. Okay, so that's why if you look at this picture published by economists, that was way in 2017 if I'm not mistaken, it has been said that the world's most valuable resources is no longer oil, but data is the new rule of competition. You look at the picture, it's Amazon there, Google, Facebook, Tesla, and a few other data-driven companies that generated data, and how they utilize data to translate into information and knowledge and wisdom to make money, right? Now, external business environment in the digital era. Number one, technological advancement. So it is, these are the external forces that we have to pay attention to when it comes to living in the digital era now. Technology advancement goes without saying. We know for sure there's a lot of technology being developed every nanosecond. Now, with that technology advancement, the reason why I put it at the top is because that number one has caused changes to the rest in the list. Okay, for instance, regulatory changes. With technology advancement, we have new currency that we are using. It's no longer the way we run business is mostly online. So there's a lot of new policy that has been introduced in regards to data protection or cyber security or blockchain, and many more regulations just to protect the data that you share with the traders or with the retailers, banks, and whatnot. And then we are faced by cybersecurity threats. So there's a lot of issues in regards to cybersecurity now, and still a lot of deliberation on how we can actually manage to secure cybersecurity and enhance the integrity of the data that has been collected and published. Yeah. Market disruptions, obviously, I'm going to share with you cases on Netflix. So if you have read through the slides that I've shared just now, I've also bring forward the issue of Netflix, because it is quite obvious that the business model that they utilize has basically disrupt the market in the entertainment industry. Global connectivity. you can just get connected to anyone, anywhere, anytime, anyhow means through online. Now, with that global connectivity, there's a lot of things that come into play, right? So you're kind of, if you are talking about running a business, yeah, in management or business analytics, right? You're running a business. Your data comes from various parts of the world. Your customers comes from various parts of the world. They have different types of needs and wants and expectations. So you have now to consider real hard on how to customize your products or services to meet the needs and demand of different customers, which is linked to number 6. The change is customer expectations. As I mentioned earlier, right? Given the COVID-19, and things are being delivered to you right in front of your door. When that happened, when you can shop online just by lying on the bed, that has somewhat changed the way customers expect their services to be delivered or their product to be delivered. And that has caused businesses also to change the way they do business. All right. And I will share with you later the hybrid of the physical and also online kind of trading. Right, some information, very interesting sharing that I've gathered earlier on how we can now try to customize our customer services and product. Supply chain disruption, right? So that's also an issue in regards to supply chain disruption. So if there's any leakage of information, one of our lecturer at the School of Management just obtained a grant from a British, what is it called again? It's based in UK, and the interesting was mainly focusing on the leakage of information through the supply chain, and that has caused a lot of disruptions and also loss of revenue to the manufacturers and also to the company. So that has also got to do with the advancement in the digital world and also the regulatory changes and also the issue of cybersecurity. Economic changes, can't deny. There's a lot of things that we are facing now. Even we feel the impact of the economic slowdown once, and we are hoping that it will rise again. But in Malaysia now, we are struggling still with the currency disadvantage, and government is struggling also to find ways to stabilize the economy. And I believe that this impact is felt also elsewhere in other parts of the world. Demographic shift. Oh, this can be seen easily, right? Shift from if I'm not mistaken, the first generation before baby boomers is called is it the quiet generation, or the secret generations before baby boomers? And we have baby boomers, we have Generation X, Generation Y, Generation Z, now Generation Alpha. And there's so much, there's so many things that has changed in our demographic profile. So number one is, of course, we are now being called the sandwich community. The sandwich community is referring to family living with elderly parents, taking care of elderly parents, and at the same time having small little kids to take care of. So it's sandwich generation. And we are also facing the era of aging population. Malaysia is predicted to be aging population or aging country in 2030. And if I'm not mistaken, Japan is predicted to be an aging country in 2025, just around the corner. Now, how does digital world adapt or can be utilized or leveraged to take advantage of this demographic shift? New innovation can take place, yeah. A lot of technology, a lot of facilities to aid our elderly population has now existed. So those are things that is impacting the businesses and also the type of innovation that can be introduced to the market, right? Now, so let's look into this. If you can, I'll give you some time to just brainstorm and to just share what are the impacts of technology on businesses. I've shared some, but maybe you want to share some more potential impact of technology on business. Now, let me also try and join. Okay, if you can, I'm going to share later your answers. There's no right and wrong answers, yeah. Do not worry. It's just to brainstorm and get us think about the potential impact that we might not have thought earlier. Okay, so I'm joining. Okay, that's already answers. Thank you so much. When business embraces and stay abreast of technology, increase competition, increase competition through enlarging opportunity, provide better and efficient environment for work, productivity, concern about lower costs and boost profit. Okay, so if you have entered Padlet, oh, thank you so much for sharing. Doctor can have. Okay, thank you so much for sharing. So let's go into the Padlet. Okay, so that I can see your answers. Oops. Okay. Okay, keep sharing. Yeah, I shall wait for more to come. I'll give you time. Right, increase sales. Yeah, you might want to expand on that. How to increase sales with technology, better understanding of our customers. This is good because you can gather more information about your customers, so you can have better understanding of your customers. Workflow more efficient, good. Give the business the chance to grow more and take right decision. That's correct. Provided you are able to turn your organization into data-driven organization, yeah? Cost reduction and ease of use, okay? With technology, we can leverage on technology to make sure that our work are more efficient, all right? And easy to be used, improve security, provided that you spend on security measures of technology. Yeah, you are able to reach customers fast and easy. That's correct because if you are able to leverage on technology to reach out to the customers and deal with them more easily. Automated office, reduce cost. That's good. Accelerate business to finish. Double-edged weapon for business. This is interesting. Although it enables them to reach more customers, it also make competition more rigid. Yes, extend. So it's like in a game, yeah, who's faster than whom? So those who reap the advantage of technology will definitely thrive faster than the rest. And if those who are sluggish in taking advantage of technology, could be outcompete. Yeah, could be outcompete and also have to cease operations eventually. Improve customer service, correct. Increase efficiency and productivity. Yes, that's interesting. Improve marketing, reaching out to customers easily, reduce costs, creative ideas. I like that. So you can generate more creative ideas to better innovate for the business. Lower startup costs, correct. Yeah, good answers by all of you. Love that. Time saving, lower cost, efficiency, yeah, time. Employees will be more technically competitive and hence productive, yeah, provided that we are able to change, to upskill them. All right, upskill, reskill, or new skill them. Reduce human error, that's correct. Increase ability to provide customized. Yeah, this is one of the thing about the future. Yeah, in 2017, it is predicted that customization of customers' products and services will increase tremendously because we have we have technology to generate data about what customers, specific customers, yeah, the profile and what they like, what they need, and that exactly what Netflix is doing. Okay, so keep on sharing, and I will share with you later all the inputs given by all of you. Thank you. So let's move back to our lecture. Stop and share. Okay, so I've gathered a lot of interesting points from your discussion. So that's very good. I think we are basically aware of how technology can impact the way we run business. And now technology has become one of the most important external forces that impact the whole range of other external forces. Technology has caused us to change policy, to change a law in regards to cyber law. Technology also has changed the way customers think and perceive or expect from the businesses. So shift in the social trend. With technology also, there's increased demand for environmental friendly product. So with just that technology factor in pastel or pest, we see the whole range of external forces have to follow suit and have to change. Okay, so this is one of the things that I've gathered earlier, but I think it is interesting to share with all of you too. This is the existence, the existence of phygital space for retail experience and many others as well. Initially, we were talking about just brick and mortar, right? Bricks means physical business setting, mortar or digital business setting. Now, the hybrid version of business setting is called phygital. Have you heard of phygital, the term phygital before? Yeah. If you are not aware, I'm introducing to you this world of digital and how it's gonna change the way people do business again. And that's a lot of pressure for the retailers, especially, yeah, the service providers, on how they have to adapt to all these changes and make sure that they are able to customize the need of the customer. Look at that picture in the middle, yeah. Just by standing in front of the screen, they can actually show you which garment suit you the best. Okay, or if you are talking about beauty product, just by standing in front of the skin, clicking on the button of the color of your lipstick or gloss, for example, it can show which one suit you best based on your skin tone, based on your complexion, based on your the shape of your face. So it's very interesting because otherwise you will be struggling to think, is this good? And you have to ask friends, hi, do you think it's good on me? And you are lucky to have friends who will tell you frankly, but sometimes they will just like, yeah, it's good, but in real fact, it doesn't look good. Now you can trust digital. You can trust the digital screen to provide you with the frank and truthful answer in regards to whether the garment that you try on suits you well, or the product that you try on your face suits you well, or the haircut, suits you wear, and the rest. And if I would love to also share with you this article, I will share it later. There's a lot of new trends that's coming because of the technology, and it disrupts the whole industry. So the bottom line is, can we manage to cope up? Can the company or the organization manage to cope up with the changes in this digital environment that we are talking about here, with the abundance of data to understand customers, with the overflow of information pertaining to customers' needs, expectation, wants, and their preferences that suits their palate. So how do you cope up with this kind of information if if we don't understand analytics, right? So that's the interesting part of learning analytics. Okay, so I'll share with you, just listen to, view this video.
What will the retail industry look like in 2030? In our report, we've identified 40 trends that are paving the way towards the future. Here are just a few of the most critical trends. Consumers will have heightened expectations of digital support throughout the entire customer journey, from researching products to after-sales service. Sustainability and ESG goals will continue to drive the rise of second-hand and rental markets across many categories. Brands will need to harness the power of data and technology to optimize their operations across the entire retail value chain. The rise of DTC models means that brands will become closer to their customers, leveraging their data and restricting supply to distributors. Adopting a digital-first approach to supply chains can help increase efficiency, optimize product mix and pricing power, and also reduce waste. Retail brands will increasingly offer lifestyle services such as styling, mentoring, and personal rentals to enhance their overall propositions. The impact of AI will dramatically rise in the areas of personalization, chatbots, pricing, supply chains, inventory management, and fraud detection. Retailers and financial institutions will increasingly explore blockchain technology to enhance security, payment traceability, and transparency in supply chains. Download our 40 Future Retail Trends to 2030 report to learn about many other trends.
Okay, this is basically the top trends of 2030, and I think it's very interesting. Yes, anyone want to ask question? No, yeah? Okay, it's very interesting for you to read through, or if you can download this article, I can share with you the link to foresee what's coming our way into 2030. Yeah? So there's a lot of things, as I mentioned earlier, just by highlighting one external forces, right? Just by looking at one external forces, you will see a lot of changes that may impact other external forces, including politics, regulations, environment, social trend, legal issues, values. All these are the external forces that has been deliberated quite at length by the industry players and also the scholars in that manner. Yeah. So let's look at the all right.
Prepared, stay ahead of the curve, and start planning for tomorrow's world of retail.
Moving on. Okay, these are some more examples. Some more examples of what you call technology that may disrupt other external forces. So with the world's largest 3D printed neighborhood in Texas, that was in 2021. When I read through this article, I found it's very interesting because why? The changes in this type of technology has also impacted the social trend and also the policy in regards to establishing houses in neighborhood. So this may be one part of the largest pilot project run in Texas previously. And the other project that has been launched is actually the opening of world's first pop-up airport for flying cars. initially, when we talk about flying cars, right? We know that it's coming our way. We have been talking about flying cars since I couldn't remember so long. But the reason why it couldn't take off quite fast and swiftly is because there are a lot of issues within the ecosystem of the technology that are not ready. For instance, we do not have the aviation law for flying cars yet. We have aviation law to cater for planes and helicopters and other forms of and that kind of manner, but not yet flying cars. So there must be some kind of guidance in terms of policy and law for aviation. Number two, how do we manage this flying car landing and whatnot? If we are talking about plane, then we know there's a special dedicated place called airport where you can land safely with the right safety measures and whatnot. But now flying car. So how do we manage that? And this is when Hyundai introduces one of the first pop-up airport, yeah, for flying cars, and possibly with this new introduction of technology can fast track the launch of flying cars for mass production. I mean, I'm just anticipating because otherwise we've been talking about it for so long, but we couldn't really see any cars flying in our sky for work purposes or for commuting purposes. Let me check. Yes. Um, yeah, I can see voices. Uh, okay, let me mute. Yeah. Um, who's that? Can you just mute? All right. Okay. Okay. Now moving on, we are going to talk about Netflix, yeah, and how Netflix utilizes data-driven technology and how they actually leverage on technology to customize your needs. So in a words, Netflix actually knows you very well. So whatever you do, I've always mentioned this to friends, yeah, to students. Be careful in whatever you do. Your text, the text that you send, the messages that you publish publicly, because one fine day it might go against you in one way or another because it's been captured, and who knows? Who knows? We don't know what's going to happen next. If you publish things that is not supposed to be published and it's being captured, and it can go against you in future. But when we talk about Netflix, yeah, Netflix can personalize their services to customers, and that's why they become the hit and of the market in entertainment industry, and they change the whole way of the business model altogether. So let's look into what Netflix did, yeah, with the technology advancement. Deciphering the unstoppable Netflix and the role of big data. You see, Netflix is one of the company that leverage on big data a lot, and that's why they know you fully well. I'm not so sure whether it's quite widely used in other parts of the world, but in Malaysia, yes, almost every house has Netflix because it's so convenient to just watch movies of your interests. It's like a library of movies, right? So if Roblox, I'm not so sure you know Roblox, but my daughter loves Roblox very much. It is known as the library of game, where you can just go into Roblox and choose the game that you love to play, and you can connect yourself to friends from every part of the world. Netflix does that too, but Netflix do it in a different way. Netflix has a very special library for movies. Okay, so how do they know? How do they actually personalize or customize their services two uses. Number one, through the ratings that you give. So whatever ratings that you give, I'm sure those from Malaysia, Singapore, in Asian region are familiar with Shopee, Lazada, whatever message that you type, your review, the ratings that you give, all are captured. And whatever, if you give good ratings, now they know already that those are things that you prefer. Okay, so same goes to searches. What type of movie you search will then be customized towards you love, for instance, horror movie, or you love comedy. They customize it in that manner, and they will flash all the advertisement and the teaser of that kind of movie. The moment you check your Facebook, you check your Instagram, they will go into that mode to personalize it to you, to tell you that, hey, we got new movie, do you want to watch it? And you probably be wondering, hey, I love this movie, how do they know these kind of movies are the movies that I love to watch? Well, they know it from their big data, and also from their deciphering mode of your input. You credit calculation, what movie you rewatch and watch again, what movie you pause, and the longer you pause means maybe you are not quite interested in that kind of movie, and your watch history, so they capture all those information. And then they became the leader in entertainment industry just by leveraging on technology to introduce online streaming. So if you read the case of Blockbuster, right, how Blockbuster is being swept away just like that by the introduction of Netflix. We do not have Black Blockbuster in Malaysia, if I remember correctly, but I had a chance to go to Blockbuster when I did my PhD in Adelaide, Australia, and Blockbuster was the place that my family and I will go to rent movie. Okay, that was 2004, not quite long, 2004, 2007. We will go to Blockbuster because that's to unwind after a long week of work and study. So I thought that, okay, Friday night, let's go to Blockbuster just right across our house, and we rent movie. And they keep track of what movie we borrow, because they know that would be of what we are interested in. Now, 2007, just immediately with the introduction of Netflix, Blockbuster was swept away. There's no more physical rental, and it's just online streaming, and you can have the luxury to choose and view whatever movie you like, whatever what do you call that? Whatever a type of movie, whether it's horror, comedy, love story, or anything of that kind. Now, how do they do that? They combine not just technology, but also the importance of creativity. So that's why in this lecture, I will also introduce to you the importance of not just data, but creativity. So technology should be married with wisdom, or human wisdom, if you really want to make a strike in your industry. Okay, so how does Netflix do that? Netflix changed the traditional business model. Okay, so here it says Netflix disrupt the traditional video rental business dominated by Blockbuster once, and they bring to you, to your home, a stream of vast library of movie on subscription base. And they also have data-driven content. So it was, imagine, before we even realize the importance of data-driven culture, data-driven decision-making, Netflix has done it long time ago. And they capture all those information, and they use what they call their magic formula to create original content that is targeted towards specific audience. So very personalized, custom made to suit the palette of each viewers, right? And of course, then the global expansion, because online streaming, right? You don't need physical store. You don't need to venture into opening a new branch anywhere in other parts of the world. No need, because it is online. So it gives Netflix flexibility to venture into other regions as well, and to make sure that they can custom made their type of movie to suit the culture, and also to suit the needs and wants of people in different parts of the world. Okay. And before we go for break prayer, uh, I think I will touch a bit on creativity. Yeah? Netflix does that very elegantly. It is not just about the data, because data can be, yes, data can be intelligently deciphered. But if you want to thrive or sustain in the long run, that intelligent data that you have already translated into knowledge, you can marry that with creativity and your wisdom to make or to change the world altogether. And that's why in the latest article published by Harvard Business School in their Harvard Business Review, they clearly mentioned that yes, data, understanding data is brilliant, right? It is good if you can understand the data, but it is not enough. It is not suffice. It's not sufficient for you to just digest and analyze the data if you cannot really marry the insights that you obtain from the data with your creativity to change the world. Okay, and then comes what it says in the article: inspiration and creativity are uniquely human commodities. So we don't have to worry about AI or technology or robots taking over humanity or outcompete us in any way. No, right? They help us to enhance our living. But if we couldn't cope up with the changes in the environment, as in the lesson 2 here, then you may be outcompete and you may be left irrelevant. Okay, so you have to always keep at par with the changes in the environment, understanding where data brings you and how you can use your wisdom and creativity to change the way you run your business. Okay, and this is one of the articles that I love to read about creative and data. So in the world where people are so overwhelmed with data and people look up to data too extremely, we cannot forget the importance of creativity. And that is what God has given us, the wisdom. And that creative mindset has to be embedded in us if we want to make sure that we can leverage on the data or the information or insights that we obtain from data to sustain in the long run. Okay, so and this is the graphic analogy of how a good combination of these 6 elements would help businesses to thrive in the long run. And do not worry, because creativity is something that we can learn. There's so many ways that we can learn to be creative. Actually, it's not born, it is made. It is not just by nature, it can be nurtured. Okay, how can we nurture creativity then? Oh, a very interesting question. How can we nurture creativity? There's so many ways. Number one, we can nurture creativity by observation, by observing others, how they do things, right? That is what we call in academic vicarious learning. Number two, we can learn to be creative by reading, exploring things based on what others have been doing. That is one way. And also, number three, by training, right? Attending formal training on how you can actually move yourself towards divergent thinking, because creativity requires divergent thinking. Explore all possibilities, go beyond what people have been doing or what we can see. Okay, if you can remember the movie, what is the movie called? Where the lion, no, there's a lion, Simba. What's the movie called? Can you remember? Let me check. McKinsey and Company. What is the Lion King? Yes, you see, I'm getting old, Abir. I forgot easily. Yeah, there's a message that is very clear, even though it sounds very funny, but that is an important message. It says, see beyond what you can see, means expand your imagination. Think wild, explore, brainstorm with your group, with your friends, and do not limit your thinking to things that you can see. And that is what we call in our foresight class futures thinking. It is not wrong spelling, but that is the kind of thinking that we have. We have strategic thinking, we have also lateral thinking, systematic thinking, and futures thinking is how we imagine our future, boundaryless. Okay, so that is the most important message for written by that article on creative and data union. Marrying creative and data, you will sustain in the long run, you will thrive and you will outcompete other competitors. And that's what Netflix believe and hold on strongly. And obviously, it's not just Netflix, but other companies as well. But I think the case study that is brought to you today is on Netflix because it is so interesting to explore more into later on their culture and the way they do things in the company. Okay, I'll stop up to that point for our prayer, and we will reconvene after around 7:30 for our subsequent lecture. So thank you and have a good short break and prayer.